Now what is this Q conformation? Any other intermediate conformation between the eclipsed form and the staggered form is called as this Q conformation. Alkenes are unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing carbon-carbon double bond. Now what is this alcoholic potash? You take potassium hydroxide, dissolve in alcoholic solution, that is in alcohol if you dissolve, we call it as alcoholic potash. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 4 on the chapter hydrocarbons. Last class we studied about the combustion reactions and also about the incomplete combustion. Also we learnt about controlled oxidation, different types of oxidation reactions which can happen, as well as we learnt about isomerization, aromatization and about pyrolysis. Today we shall learn about the conformation of alkanes. Now what is the meaning of conformation of alkanes? Different spatial arrangement of atoms of a molecule which can be converted into one another by rotation along the carbon-carbon single bond are called as conformations. That is, in alkanes we know there is carbon-carbon single bond. Okay, for example, we have ethane here like this. This is the structural formula of ethane. Now, the angle, the two carbon atoms, because it is single bond, it can rotate, and this hydrogen atom can be in a different angle. And that different angles what you get, or a different conformations which you are going to get, because you are rotating the molecule along the single bond, is called as the conformation. Okay. Now, conformation of ethane, that is, this is ethane. Okay. In ethane, there are two tetrahedral methyl groups. That is, this carbon atom is also sp3 hybridized. This also is sp3 hybridized. So, it is two methyl groups which are tetrahedral structure. Correct? Also, they can rotate around the carbon-carbon bond to yield several arrangements. Many arrangements we can get. Out of that, two extreme arrangements which we can show is the eclipsed form and the staggered form. Now, if the first carbon atom, okay, I'll just put it in the form of a circle, okay. This is the first carbon atom which is attached to 3 hydrogen atoms and it is like this, okay. The second carbon atom, I will put it here, okay. This is the second carbon atom. It has got hydrogen atom, hydrogen atom and hydrogen atom. So, I am showing the molecule of ethane like this. See, I have one with 3 hydrogen atom, the second carbon atom with 3 hydrogen atom. Now, you can see in this form, the hydrogen atoms attached to 2 carbon atoms are close together. They are very close together, or I can tell, you have to just imagine, this is my one carbon atom, this is my other carbon atom. This hydrogen and the hydrogen to the second carbon atom are one behind the other. They are very close to one another. They are aligning with one another. We call it as the eclipsed form. Okay. Now, what is staggered form? Okay. In the staggered form, the hydrogen atoms of the 2 carbon atoms are oriented in such a way that they lie far apart from one another. That is, you take one carbon atom which has got 3 hydrogen atoms like this. The second carbon atom which is behind this, I'll show it in the form of a circle, and you can just imagine this has got one hydrogen, hydrogen and hydrogen. They are far apart. They are not aligning one behind the other. They are as much as far apart. Then we call it as the staggered form. And from this form to this form, if you have to come, you have to just rotate along the carbon-carbon single bond by 60-degree angle, you will get from one form to other. Okay. So, that's about the two forms or the two conformation which is in the extreme end. There is one more conformation called as the skew conformation. Now what is this skew conformation? Any other intermediate conformation between the eclipsed form and the staggered form is called as the skew conformation. Okay, and among the three conformations what we have learned, that is skew, eclipse and staggered conformation of ethane is the most stable. Why? Staggered conformation, you know, this is one carbon atom with 3 hydrogen atoms. This is one more carbon atom with 3 hydrogen atoms, and they're exactly opposite of one another. They are not very close together. They are very, very far apart. Okay, that is due to this, the energy associated is minimum. The repulsive interaction between the electron clouds of this hydrogen is also minimum. Okay, due to which there is a maximum distance between the hydrogen atom and they are very, very stable. Okay, so the stability is staggered is more stable than the skew. Eclipsed is least stable because they are just lying one behind the other. The electron clouds of both the hydrogen atom can repel one another. Also the distance between them is minimum, due to which they have very less stability. Okay, so here you can see the eclipsed conformation where the hydrogen is very close to one another and the angle is 0. That is, they are just one behind the other. Okay, whereas staggered form between the two hydrogen atom of two different carbon atoms, the angle is 60 degrees present and we call it as the staggered form, which is the most stable. And then you have some intermediate, just as you rotate in between the eclipsed and the staggered form, whatever conformation we get, we call it as the skew conformation. Molecules can constantly rotate through all possible conformations. Okay, so that's about the three conformations of ethane. You should know different terminologies to understand this better. That is torsional angle. Okay, the angle of rotation about carbon-carbon bond is called as torsional angle. I told you the carbon can be rotated and the angle with which it rotating is called as the torsional angle. Next is torsional strain. The repulsive interaction between the electron cloud which affect the stability of the conformation is called as the torsional strain. I told you when hydrogen in the eclipse form, the hydrogen they are just one behind the other and there can be repulsive force between the electron clouds. So whenever there is a repulsive force which is affecting the stability of that particular conformation, we call it as torsional strain. And the magnitude of torsional strain depends on angle of rotation also. Okay. Next is torsional energy. Energy required for ethane molecule to rotate about carbon-carbon bond is called as torsional energy. So the amount of energy which is required for rotating, we call it as torsional energy. So you need to know all of this. One is torsional angle, torsional strain and torsional energy. Okay. Now there are two methods for writing or representing this conformation, that is Newman projection formula, that is in 2D, which I have already explained for you all. In this method, the carbon atom nearer to the eye and the group attached to them are represented in the form of a center of a circle and the line attached to the center, while the distant carbon atom are the groups attached to it are represented as a circle and the lines attached to the circumference. So, if for example, this is the carbon atom which is closer to me, this is the carbon atom which is far from me. Okay. So, this is the structural formula I am writing. So, the one which is closer I just put as a dot and then the 3 hydrogen atom which is there. The one which is farther from me, I put it as a circle, and to the circumference I put the lines and write the groups attached to it. So that is eclipsed form. Staggered form, here you can see it is little far apart, which is called as the staggered form. This is Newman projection. Next is Seahorse formulae. Okay, in Seahorse formulae, this form, the front carbon atom which is close to us is shown as the lower end. This is the lower end. This is the one which is closer to us. And the one which is there in the rarer or farther is shown in behind or just a little above. So you are writing it in this angle where the lower end is the one which is closer to me. The one which is far or written above is the one which is far away from me. So here you can see eclipse form, they are just one behind the other. So they are in the same conformation. Here it is hydrogen, here also in the same angle it is present. Staggered form, it is in the opposite angle. You can see the two hydrogen are above, one is below. Here one is above and two are below. This is the staggered form of Seahorse formulae. Okay, so these are the two methods of representing the conformation. Okay. Next, we are going into details of alkenes. So, what are alkenes? Alkenes are unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons containing carbon-carbon double bond. Correct? So, these are unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbon containing carbon-carbon double bond. They are also called as olefins because lower members react with chlorine to form oily products. They give some oily products, that's why we call them as olefins. Okay, they are represented by the general formula CnH2n. Coming to the nomenclature, I have already explained the rules for naming in the previous chapter as well as in alkanes again. So here I'll just briefly name few compounds of alkenes. Okay. So the structural formula 1, 2. Two carbon atoms are there. Trivial name we use, ethylene, Lene is used for alkenes. For IUPAC name, Ene is used as the suffix. Okay. So two carbon atoms, root word is eth and ending with Ene because it contains carbon-carbon double bond. Similarly, 1, 2, 3. I cannot number it 1, 2, 3 because always to the lowest number should go to the carbon atom where there is a carbon-carbon double bond. So this way of numbering is correct. This is wrong. So it is propene. When no number is written, it is understood it is in the first carbon atom double bond. Okay. Here we have to number again. Lowest should go for here 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 carbon atoms but 1 ene because first and the second carbon atom there is a double bond. Okay. Next one 1, 2, 3, 4. Between 2 and 3 it is there. So it is but 2 ene. Now this one if you see 1, 2, 3 or 3, anyhow you can take. Second carbon atom has got the methyl group. So it is 2-methyl prop 1-ene or just propene we can write. Okay. So these are the way to number and write the names of the alkenes. Okay. Next is about the method of preparation of alkenes. The first method of preparation is from alkynes. You are using alkyne to produce alkene. That is carbon-carbon triple bond to carbon-carbon double bond you are going to convert. Okay. So alkynes on partial reduction with hydrogen in the presence of Lindlar catalyst, that is palladium supported over calcium carbonate which is deactivated with quinoline or sulfur. What is Lindlar catalyst can be asked? as a 1-mark question. It is important. So what is it? It's a palladium supported over calcium carbonate which is deactivated with quinoline or sulfur. That is Lindlar's catalyst. So you're taking alkene, treating it with hydrogen and Lindlar's catalyst to get cis alkene, because this is Lindlar's catalyst is very particular. It will give cis alkene. Now what is this cis alkene and trans alkene? Now coming to the isomers in alkenes, what you need to know is, now there is a carbon-carbon double bond, okay, and for this one there is one example, CH3 group and H group. Here also there is a CH3 group and H group. So there are common groups for both the carbon atoms. Okay. Now, if the two same groups are there in the opposite end, and here also it is in the opposite end, this is called as trans form. Okay. Now, if I write it like this, CH3H and here double bond CH3 and H. They are on the same side of the carbon atom. Two carbon atoms, all CH3 there, here H. Then this is cis form. Okay. So, if you are getting cis alkene, then you have to use Lindlar's catalyst. Okay. So, alkyne we take, treat it with hydrogen in the presence of palladium over calcium carbonate deactivated with quinoline, or we can just represent Lindlar's catalyst like this. Here, one hydrogen is added here, one more hydrogen is added here to break one double bond. So, you have double bond which is remaining and you get cis alkene. Okay, example you can see here, we have used ethyne with hydrogen in the presence of Lindlar's catalyst, you get ethene. Okay, in ethene you can't tell cis or trans, it is all hydrogen atoms itself, so you just write it as it is. Okay, if I use propyne, you can understand here, propyne we are using. So here again hydrogen is added here, hydrogen is added here, you get propene. Okay, again here you can't tell cis or trans because there are no same groups on the carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, alkynes when reduced with sodium in liquid ammonia forms trans alkene. See, if we just change the catalyst, you are using sodium in liquid ammonia as the catalyst, you get trans alkene. So for cis alkene you have to use Lindlar catalyst. For trans alkene if you want, we have to use sodium in liquid ammonia. So if we are taking alkyne with hydrogen, okay, and hydrogen you can see it's present opposite, alkyl groups are opposite, then it is called as the trans alkene. Okay, so that's about the cis alkene and trans alkene preparation. Next is preparation from alkyl halide. So you're taking an alkyl halide, treating it with alcoholic potash. Now what is this alcoholic potash? You take potassium hydroxide, dissolve in alcoholic solution, that is in alcohol if you dissolve, we call it as alcoholic potash. Okay, if you dissolve in water, we call it as aqueous potash. So it's very particular that you have to use alcoholic potash to get alkene. So what is happening here is, when you are heating it with alcoholic potash, the hydrogen is removed from beta carbon atom and from alpha carbon atom halogen is removed and a double bond is formed. This reaction is also called as beta elimination reaction because from beta carbon atom hydrogen is removed. Okay, so here for example we have taken ethyl halide, that is CH3, CH2X with alcoholic potash, one X and one H is removed, double bond is formed, you are getting ethene. Now, halogenation follows. See, tertiary alkyl halide if you take, you will get alkene, then the secondary alkyl halide, then the primary alkyl halide will react towards this reaction. Similarly, the rate of reaction differs with halogen also. Iodine if it is present, it's more reactive, bromine and then with the chlorine it is reactive. So that's about using alkyl halide to get alkene. What you have to use? Alcoholic potash. Next one is from vicinal dihalide. What is the meaning of vicinal dihalide? Vicinus means neighbors. Okay. So, the halogens are present in the neighboring carbon atom. We call it as vicinal dihalide. What is it? If the halogen is present in the neighboring two carbon atoms, then we call it as vicinal dihalide. Now, if it is present on the same carbon atom, we call it as geminal. For example, you see here, I have CH2, CH2. Here, bromine is present in two carbon neighbors which is present. Okay. Same way, if it was like this, CH3, CH, Br and Br. This would be called as geminal dihalide. This is vicinal dihalide because they are present in neighbors. Okay. So, if I take vicinal dihalide, react with zinc, okay, to form alkene. That is, zinc takes up both the bromine to form zinc bromide and a double bond is formed between the two carbon atoms. Similarly, here you have one more compound, that is, again this bromine will be removed and what you are going to get here, it is propene, what you are getting. So, zinc will remove out both the halogen atom. That is why this reaction is also called as dehalogenation reaction. Removal of halogen. Dehalogenation reaction. Dehalogenation means removal of halogen is happening here. That's why this reaction is also called as dehalogenation reaction. Okay. Next one is from alcohols. So, from alcohols, how are we going to get alkenes? See, when alcohols are heated with concentrated sulfuric acid, they undergo dehydration to give alkene. Now, what is dehydration? Removal of water. Correct, no? So, here you are going to take alcohol. From one carbon atom where OH is there, you remove OH group. From the neighboring carbon atom, we remove one hydrogen atom to give alkene and water. Example, you can take ethanol. From the alpha carbon atom, OH is going. From the beta carbon atom, hydrogen is going. So, you will get a double bond which is formed to get ethene and water. Thus, it is also called as beta elimination reaction because from beta, hydrogen atom is removed. Okay. So, that's about the preparation of alkenes from alcohols. Next class, we will be learning about the physical properties of alkenes as well as the chemical properties of alkenes. Okay. Thank you, my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.